Alright everyone, it's that time of year again. It is the Killing Floor Summer Sideshow event. This one is called Pier of Pain. I will be doing a brief first impression video on the 5 new weapons that were added, the 4 weapons from the community weapon pack, and the 1 weapon that you get if you own Rising Storm. The community weapon pack is paid DLC, and there was also a Golden Weapon Pack 2 that was released as well, and a couple new DLC characters that you can purchase or unlock. There's also a new map, and also there is this new mode called Objective Mode. It's basically what you think of when you play Left 4 Dead, where it has various objectives sprawled through a map that you have to complete. And it's a pretty interesting mode, I think. I think it's a good addition to Killing Floor. They also released the SDK with the objective mode, so modders should be able to create some pretty awesome objective maps. Like I said, I'll be going over the weapons, and it will just be a first impression. I have not looked at the SDK. I do not know what the stats for the weapons are. I played briefly on normal mode with these because I was trying out the new map, but I'm going to be trying this one on Suicidal, and I'll be doing the firing range just to get a general idea of how I feel about each weapon. Okay, the first weapon that I'm going to be going over, or at least I'll be going over the 2 of these, is the Dr. T's lead delivery system and the Rising Storm Tommy gun that you get if you own Rising Storm. From what I've seen, they seem to be basically the same weapon except just reskinned a bit and with a little bit different firing animation and sound effects. It appears that both of these guns are just basically like the Thompson, except with a drum magazine instead. Basically, from what I've tried, that's what it kind of felt like. As always, you can switch from semi and full auto between the 2 of these weapons, and pretty much just like the Thompson, they seem to be good at killing these lesser specimens pretty efficiently. I'm not sure if it actually has enough firepower to take down a Scrake or something, like say maybe a Flesh Pound on higher difficulties. I can try that out certainly now on Suicidal, see if that works.
I'm ready and waiting. Watch me.
But yeah, they just basically have a bigger magazine compared to the Thompson is what it feels like. But we'll see if it can take down a Scrake. And like I said, this is on Suicidal, and it simulates 6 players, so see how well this works. Alright, it looks like you can take them down at least with both guns equipped. I think their high magazine is what helps them out, but obviously this is not the most efficient way to do it. Okay, we will then be going over the multi-chamber Z thrower here. It's the newest shotgun for the support specialist. As you can see, it's semi-automatic. It's got a fairly rapid fire and a fairly close spread from what I've noticed, so it seems like it's going to be a decent short to mid-range weapon, at least when you're talking about accuracy. It's also got a alt fire, which gives you just like a puff of steam that pushes enemies back. And I noticed that the iron sights are kind of garbage. There's not really even that much of an iron sight, for instance. But what I've noticed, at least for this one, it seems to be a mid-tiered shotgun, at least when it comes to damage that it can dish out. It's not very high damaging. It'll be good at taking out the lesser specimens, for instance. And like I said, it's fairly accurate. So I mean, I can spawn a couple of these clots at long distance, and I can pretty much hit them because the spread's not too big. I don't think it's as small a spread as, say, like the HSG shotgun, but it certainly would be in between the HSG and something like the nail gun or the hunting shotgun, for instance. But like I said, it's lower damaging, so taking out a Scrake, I do not think that you can effectively do it with this gun, at least not on a higher difficulty like this. Like I said, it also comes with the alt fire too, so you can push back enemies like that. But yeah, it doesn't appear to have enough damage to effectively take down a Scrake. I mean, you can do it, at least on Suicidal it seems, but it does not seem the most efficient way to do it. It seems better to take out anything pretty much below a Scrake. Alright, the new demolitions gun is the Orca Bomb Propeller. Basically what this one feels like, it's a M79 grenade launcher, because it seems to fire the same way. The only difference is that the grenades don't explode on direct contact right away. They're sort of, as you can see, there's kind of a delay to their explosion. And that allows you to do things like ricocheting it off a wall, for instance, like that. If you want, that's the only difference it really seems to be between that and the M79. Otherwise, it operates much the same way. But yeah, I can like lob this in there. It'll explode on direct contact with Zeds, but with walls and floors, it will not. So yeah, I can just lob it in there. And like I said, direct contact will explode it. And I mean, I can also ricochet him like that. This is a pretty cool weapon, pretty good alternative to the M79, I think. But other than that, I would say it's not terribly effective at taking out, say, fleshbounds, for instance, because you can only fire one shot at a time. But we can certainly try. Yeah, I mean, you can't dish out the fire that's required to take these guys down in a quick manner. At least not on higher difficulties, it seems. The last gun is the single piston long musket. Now, this one is, I think, my favorite weapon out of the 5 that have been introduced. What it appears to be, basically, is a better version of the lever-action rifle, because it's got 10 shots just like the lever-action rifle, and it comes equipped with a scope. The rate of fire is pretty similar to that of the lever-action rifle. The only difference is that it reloads with a magazine instead of one at a time like the lever-action rifle does. But it's effective, certainly, at taking out lesser specimens.
Shop will open soon, lads. Head this way.
But one thing I've also noticed is that it will also stun loop a Scrake, much like the lever action rifle. As you can see. So, what I've pretty much come to realize is that this appears to be just a improved version of the lever action rifle. The only downside compared to the lever action rifle is that it has the magazine. But the scope is really nice. I think it makes a really good combo with the M14. Like, usually you go with the M14 LAR loadout, but that's not really useful for long range targets because neither of those guns are terribly effective at taking out long range targets. But with the musket, the long musket, you have the scope, so it seems to be very useful in that regard. That's why I kind of like this weapon. I think out of all of these, I will be using the long musket the most. Like I said, for the loadout of this and the M14, it seems to be a very good combo. Anyway, that has been this quick video. I will probably be doing a more in-depth video on the weapons as soon as I look at the code and once I finish, for instance, my videos on the perks. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.